ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Propagandacast. Lehr with me, your host Imperial Dane. Today's topic is the rule of twos. And why is the rule of twos? Well, the rule of twos is sort of a rule that's sort of made up in my head, which I think sort of largely applies reasonably well to mostly vehicles and tanks. No, not all of them, and mortars. Basically, the rule of twos goes that some units, just all those vehicles, mortars, tanks, okay, they can all vehicles and tanks, just perform better in pairs. Like, they perform a lot better. Like, they can just sort of, in some cases, just get off a lot more efficiency when working together. Like, you can just certainly overwhelm units with bursts of firepower. Plus, I mean, if you sort of have more vehicles or tanks into it, it sort of becomes a lot harder to manage. I mean, sort of the rule of twos also basically sort of states that the rule of twos is also, in that sense, when it comes to tanks and vehicles, the most manageable number to sort of operating any time. Like, you have to operate more vehicles, you need to establish essentially another pair to operate with within the game. But essentially, for example, I like to use the 2-2s here as the example, but the 2-2-2s perform a lot better when they're working in groups. Like, they can certainly, you know, appear out of nowhere, quickly burst down supporting units or anything like that and clear them out. In fact, that's what I used the 2-2 for a lot. This sort of, you know, cavalry unit that can just, you know, burst in, take care of high priority targets, supporting infantry at range, or even, you know, threaten light vehicles. I mean, a single 2-2 isn't that, you know, that amazing. And 3 2-2s, again, you just have to manage too much. And again, with 3 vehicles, you also get into pathing issues a lot more. In 2s, I mean, you still got, you know, some pathing issues, but sort of just stick to 2, and the pathing issues tend to stay within the realm of the manageable. Stugs also perform admirably working together in pairs, like a lot better. Even as an infantry, you got a pair of Stugs and machine guns, all that firing in infantry, they actually do quite well. Pair of Ostwinds also tear apart infantry much better than just a single Ostwind. 2 pair of Panzer IVs also work quite well. I mean, overall, just the rule of twos just really fits in most cases. I mean, half tracks, for example, except they're not really the sort of unit you want 2 of, except the flame for the anti-aircraft version. But sort of the regular half track, you don't necessarily want 2 of those. And of course, you can't get 2 Tiger tanks or 2 King Tigers, but there are a lot of other units that just, you know, you can get 2 off and they will perform a lot better. So, you know, when playing the game, you just think, you know, this unit isn't quite working out well, you know, this vehicle, this tank, consider getting another one, because you'll find in most cases that their performance just sort of, you know, takes up this sort of dramatic bump as the sun, you know, can actually do some stuff, because it'll come part down to the fact they can just suddenly focus the fire a lot better while staying on the move, for example, and that can actually have a big difference. Again, like a single 2 does do a lot of damage, I mean, but, you know, appearing out of nowhere from a right angle can, for example, clear a lot of support weapons surprisingly fast, in part because they just don't anticipate it. And the 2-2s can also reasonably well then actually tear apart retreating units, in this case, you know, functioning like light cavalry. So again, working together in pairs can have, I think, surprising benefits for your play and overall your tactics and strategy. And again, personally, I just find myself doing a lot better with a pair of them than with just a single one in a lot of cases. Like, they will just be able to do a, you know, reasonable amount of damage. They actually get some good kills. Of course, they still can't kill snipers because snipers are dumb and they really need to reduce their, you know, retreat bonuses on those bastards. But like, and a lot of other units, a pair of 2-2s on the right circumstances just can have that nice fat impact you're looking for. And again, they sort of also just have this shock effect when you know, find the right spot that to attack the 2-2s from. There's also a lot of firepower, units are dying, and they'll be like, oh good lord, they try to retreat, but again, if they're too slow in retreating, all of a sudden there's a lot more damage done. So, I mean, they can, you know, have quite a nice amp. In this case, might be able to go at the maximum, not for the older comps getting in. In this case, things go a bit sour due to pathing issues. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Even with 2, I mean, you're still going to run into them, but had there been 3, I think it would have been a lot worse. So, again, like, the rule of twos is also for your own safety. Like, again, do not try to break it. Like, you have to get more vehicles, you know, now manage them again, set up another grouping in a sense, and then stick, again, to the 2s. Like, again, 2s just, like the binary rule, can also call it, just, I think, is sort of very solid in when it comes to tanks and vehicles. Again, it just sort of sets the defining, you know, limit for how many you can move at any one time, or how you can manage them in groups. And again, it just sort of helps you get a lot more out of them, because again, you suddenly have a good reasonable idea, you know, again, what you can do off in terms of damage. Again, 2 Stugs can quickly take care of most tanks, 2 SU-6 can also quickly take care of most tanks, 2 SU-5s, 2 tanks can also do a lot of damage. So again, I mean, just the rule of twos fits well again with mortars, just because you get sort of much more sheer volume of fire, and there's more likely just, you know, stuff to get murdered, which is why I'm including the mortars in there as well. I mean, you know, 2 machine guns working together. I mean, in theory it's nice, but it's not quite how you want to use them. You want to use the knife areas and all that will support your infantry, and having 2 necessarily firing the same target is going to end up being a bit of waste there of the MG42s, the Maxims, 50 calibers, what have you. So hopefully this little rule I've established there from my own, and again it's just a rule I've more or less made myself. So I mean, you know, feel free to, you know, disagree with it, ignore it, but you know, I figure that certainly some players would benefit from it. Again, particular players who, you know, might want to use the T2, but just again, on its own, it's just not impressive. Again, consider getting another one. Or again, Stugs, get 2. Osvins, get 2. Any medium tank, get 2. And so on there. So I mean, if you can sort of, you know, keep that rule in mind, and sort of the, you know, what it involves, I think you can sort of find yourself doing a lot better with a lot of your light vehicles, your armor, tanks, tank destroyers, assault guns, what have you, not in your mortars. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hope you learned something from this game, which is the important part. If you have, you know, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. If you like what I do, you know, wish to support me, do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Either of the 2 helps me out a ton. Links in the video description. So thank you all, and see you all another time for another video. Cheers.